Hello, today I will show you how to port your survival creations into your creative world. Now the first step is to open up Steam. I'll go to your Steam library, click on Scrap Mechanic, right click, Properties, Local Files, and then click Browse. This will open up your game folder, which will be useful in this step. So alternatively, you can just go to this address. Okay. So now go to Survival, and then Scripts, and then Game, and then this. We need to find this survivalgame.lua. Now I have already made a copy, so you should do the same too. Now then we will need to edit the script so that the developer mode can be enabled in your survival game. Now you can use Notepad or just any other app, but this looks kind of confusing very quickly, so I would advise you to install an app called Notepad++. It is a free open source app developed by volunteers, so it gets updated regularly, and it is basically an upgrade to Notepad, which is specifically designed to edit scripts. So now we will use Notepad++. So it looks like this. Everything is highlighted and good. So now we want to find the first function, the word function. Okay, so here it is, the word function. Now we can highlight this, and you can see that the entire function has a red line surrounding it. So now this is the end of the function. Okay, now you can see that I already put in 2 lines here, so you should do the same too. By default, it should look like this. Okay, so I see some people just deleting these 2 lines to get the developer mode going. Okay, but we don't want to delete anything because you might want to reverse it. So I suggest you just type these 2 lines at the end of the function, which is the same as these 2 lines. Okay, so basically what it do here is that game checks for whether you are playing survival mode, and then by default it will turn off the developer mode, but in this case we just override it. Okay, so it is always set to developer mode. So now we are done, we can just close it. Okay, we still have the backup here, so it's fine. Now moving on to step 2, we want to back up our survival map first before you mess up anything. Now this one is a bit complicated, so in the Windows search bar, okay, type the following: percentage AppData percentage. Now what it do here is to open up a secret file. Okay, it's called AppData. Usually it's hidden. So now go to AppData folder, and then you can find Axolot Games, Scrap Mechanic, user, your user ID, and then save. Now these are all the save. It's called something.db. Okay, and we want to have our survival maps. So you can see I already made several backups, so I'll make one for now for demonstration purposes. Okay, just rename it to backup 6 in my case. So now it's done. We can leave this folder open or just close it. Okay, still fine. Step number 3, we can open up our survival map backup and then start to do the thing that we are supposed to do today. Okay, you can see our backup 6 here. Okay, just play it. Okay, now we are in our world. Everything seems normal, but if you type help in the chat window, you can see that now we have unlocked all the developer commands here. So there are 2 commands that are important. The first one is export, which is what we are going to use today. When we hit export, we can export a creation into a file that we can transfer to our creative world. Now another command is import, which is here. So import is the opposite. Okay, you create a creation in the creative world, port it to the survival folder, and then you can use the import command to load the creation into your world. But today we are going to use export. Okay, so the first step is to find your creation. You can either put it on lift, or I think ground creation works too, but for safety purposes we just put it on lift. Okay, now walk close to your creation, put your crosshair on the creation so that it turns orange, and then we can do import. Sorry, export. Okay, now if you just type export, it doesn't work. We need a name. So for this creation, we will name it test. So this creation is called test. Now we hit enter. Okay, you can see that it is successfully executed. So if you don't type it properly, it would just be a test message. Okay, so you can see it is different. Remember to put a slash at the beginning so that it is registered as a command. Now step 4, we can close the game and find the exported file. To do this, we go back to our game folder. So, and then we need to go to survival, local blueprint. Okay, so if you can't find it, just sort by day modified. So at the top it should be test.blueprint, which is the thing that we just created. So now we want to copy this. Okay, and then we don't close it yet, we need to delete it later. So just minimize the window, and then step 5, we need to go back to our game, and in a creative world we need to create a dummy creation so that we can replace the dummy creation with the survival creation. So now let's do that. So this is one of my worlds. Here's my dummy creation. We put it on the lift, save it as dummy. Okay, and get a nice angle, save it. Okay, now it's called dummy. So exit the game. Okay, close it. Okay, then we need to find the dummy creation, which is in another location. So again, it's not in the game folder. We need to use the AppData again. AppData folder. Okay, so wait a second. Oh, analog game. Sorry, analog game. Scrap mechanic user. This one, and then blueprints. Okay, so you can see there are many blueprints. So these are the actual folders for each of your creation that you can spawn in on your lift. So there should be one that we created just now. Okay, sort by day modified. So descending. Okay, so this one is what we just created. So if you look at the icon, it is our dummy creation, which is good. Now we have two things. Again, these are .json files. So again, this can be opened with Notepad++. You can see that there are some text inside, and the name is dummy. Okay, so we find the correct creation. So now the blueprint, just delete it. Okay, and then we will paste the test.blueprint from survival that we exported earlier. Now here's the difficult part. We need to rename this to blueprint.json so that the game will think that it is actually a creative creation, creative mode creation. So before we do this, we need to enable the file extension to show in the file explorer. So I think it is options, and then view, scroll down. Oh, here. Okay, fine. So by default this should be ticked, so hide extensions for known file types. Okay, just uncheck it, click apply, and you can see all the file type. Okay, so for example .png. Okay, so now we want to rename this. Usually it just renames the file name itself, but this time we need to change the file type, so we need to rename the file extension too. So now we need to rename it to blueprint.json, if you can still remember. Now just hit any empty space. It will ask whether you are sure. You click yes. Now if you try to open it, you can see that this is actually all the blocks inside our creation. So now this is done, we move on to step number 7, which is to open our creation in our creative world. So just open Scrap Mechanic again. Okay, now if we open our creative, search test, there should be nothing because it's not test, it's dummy. So the icon will still look like the dummy, but the blueprint is actually swapped out with our creation in survival. So now we put it on the ground. Okay, make sure all the connections are wired up. Usually somehow the fuel tank will disconnect to the engine, but this time it looks fine. Okay, put in some more fuel. Okay, now we've done all the testing. We just put it on the lift. Now this time we want to save it as a different creation. Okay, so now say survival forklift. Good. So now we save it. Forklift. Okay. We can build it again to make sure it still looks the same. Yeah, looks the same to me. So now that it is done, we can upload this new one to Steam Workshop. Don't upload the dummy one because the description file is a bit messed up. So yeah, you can upload the newer blueprint to Workshop. Now all we need to do is to delete our dummy. And just to make sure we didn't save anything unnecessary. So these are not the forklift that we have earlier. So delete this one in case it glitches or something. So now there we go. We have this completed. So now step 8 is just to undo all the changes we made earlier. So here we have the survival blueprints. Okay, we can now safely delete this test. And then we can find our creation. Now this is the newer one. So it's called survival forklift. Okay, don't delete this one. So it should be the second one. Okay, wait. Oh, alright. We deleted it in the lift, so we can't find it here anymore, which is good news. So there you go. Now we just need to undo the script. There are 3 ways to undo the script. First is to just remove the line that we added earlier. So it should look like this. Okay. The second way is to use your backup. So just delete this one. Use the backup. Okay. So now it should be back to normal. Now if you somehow didn't back up and then you mess it up again, then you just delete the file and then go here, verify integrity of game files. This will find any missing files in your game folder and then automatically download it for you. So now we just let it scan. Okay, as you can see, one file failed, which is the file that we deleted earlier and will be reacquired. So now it's downloading. And there we go, we can play again. Now just to be sure, you can go to your survival world and check whether it is reverted. Okay, if we type help again, you can see that we only have the survival commands. Okay, we no longer have the developer mode active. So there you go. This is a 10 step to port your survival creations to creative work. I hope it has been helpful. All the links can be found in the description, and if you want to do the reverse, which is to port creative creations to survival work, I suggest you watch this video made by another person, which is explained quite in detail. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, I think. But I don't really upload any video, so you don't really need to do that. Okay, just hit like, or just do nothing at all and play games, like the only thing you do. Anyway, bye.